United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reverend Cooper, if you would be so kind as to do our invocation, would you like us to sit or stand, or?
We will stand.
Okay, that would be fun.
Please bow your heads before me. Father, we come at this evening hour, and you said that we ought to sing unto you for your faithfulness. We're not going to sing, Lord, but we ask that you would just bless those who have come from their homes, from their busy schedules, from their families. We ask that you would give wisdom, understanding, and knowledge to the town officials, oh God, and that you would bless those who have come to make their petitions heard, that they may be obedient to your will, oh God, and that they will speak their hearts so that things can be done and voted on, oh Lord, that the coming generation can rest in peace. We thank you for this land of ours, for this town of ours, and we want to thank you also, Father, for keeping us from hurt, harm, and danger, watching over us and being kind to each one of us. We thank you again for this beautiful day that you made for us to laugh and to rejoice in. We thank you and we praise you for what you're about to do in this place. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend Cooper from House of Praise Christian Revival Center. Just for anybody that's interested in ever giving an invocation, Rabbi Bill Seamers coordinates it through Temple Israel. So if you would like to give an invocation, whatever denomination you are, we're happy to have you. And if you can't get a hold of Rabbi Seamers, you can always call my office. Okay. Awards and proclamations. We have two things going on. Let's have Chris Witt and Bill Gorges come on up. George?
Yes, from Long Island Adventure Race. They just had a couple weeks ago. They had an event out at EPCAL, and they asked to come in and make a presentation to the board.
I like these presentations.
I do. And one thing I'd like to add, when they were out there, and they have left since, you never know they were there. They did a great job. I'm really proud of
what did they do?
At EPCAL.
What did they do?
The survival race.
Oh, there you go.
With the survival race, sorry.
The
survival race, Long Island Adventure, and that was a great event. I think they pulled in close to 1,000 people.
Wow.
And
no injuries or anything like that?
nothing really, no.
We had really no injuries at
No.
all.
The other event had quite a few. These guys run a
We
clean
want to
ship.
thank you guys on behalf. We have 2 checks to present to you. One is made out to the town of Riverhead.
Well, why don't we give them the microphone?
If you stand here,
Oh, okay.
those work. So as long as you're standing over this on this side, do you want to come around this way so people can see it?
That's good.
That's all you.
Okay, you get the mic.
See around.
That's it.
There you go. Okay, so you said you had a couple checks for town of Riverhead here?
Yes, we
That's
have.
good. That's
George, you get right down to the business.
Well, we wanted to thank you, you guys, for your support. We really enjoyed running our event. A local event with local people. We had a great time. We look forward to working with you guys in the future. But we definitely wanted to present these checks to the town. We have 2 checks: one to the town of Riverhead for $3,000, and one to the Riverhead PAL for $1,000.
Hey.
Very
Wow.
good. Thank you. Well, this is a great event. These are local guys.
There's a
and
lot of
local.
attention to detail,
Right.
and we want to thank all you guys for all your support, but mainly George. There was a lot of key things that George was an instrumental part of helping us pull off, so thank you so much for being behind us and sticking with us and believing in us.
Very good.
Right.
All of you.
And what makes this a great event, these are local guys. And they're donating back, I've heard there's about 5 other charities donating to? 4
Yeah.
or 5 besides us. So mostly everything they made, they're donating back either to the town, Children's Hospital, Heidi Bear, and you could probably name the others. I'm not familiar with all of them.
Yeah, Timothy Hill Children's Ranch, North Fork Breast Coalition, the Manorville Fire Department, Riverhead Ambulance, Flanders Ambulance. So collectively, we've donated back, I think just short of about $13,000.
Wow.
Wow.
Very good.
Very good. Well, young guys like this, Riverhead does have a bright future.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
George, I'd like to be the first one to say that 3,000, we should do something recreational.
Well, that's what I was going to suggest to the board later. If we could reinvest that money back into the EPCAL site, bringing
Absolutely.
perhaps irrigation over to the east side of it, which we may need. For
Oh,
the
water
dog
might
park,
be good.
And the water irrigation. So I think we'll definitely reinvest that back in Riverhead PAL. Is the chief here tonight?
Not yet, I'm sure it will be.
Right, we'll give him that because he's the head of the PAL now.
So, Bill, we want this 3,000 to be earmarked for EPCA.
I'm hanging on to it.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thanks again, I
We
really appreciate it.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chris.
Again,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, George.
Thanks. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Ray, Coyne, come on up. Don't put them in your pockets, they're not yours. No, you're not getting the 3,000. Actually, it probably will go to something recreation
recreation,
related, but I
absolutely.
think that's right. Ray, come on, now come on up here. Everyone, I'm gonna have you introduce what happened. And, come on up, guys. We don't fight.
You're a big guy.
You've not seen him before?
No, not this, I don't stand next to you, I'm usually sitting there. That's right. Usually sitting, you're supposed to be there. This is just a beach member.
Oh, sorry, Liz.
Okay, just quickly, last month, over at Reeves Beach, we had a boat that overturned, and I would say it's about 200, 300 yards out on the Sound. And the lifeguards, Charlie and Paul, did their rescue duties and dove right in the water and rescued, how many? Was it 3 people?
Three.
Three people, all who could not swim, and they brought them back to shore. So they did Standing in the middle is Liz Flood. She's our beach manager. She's in charge of training them and coaching them, and she does a tremendous job. And I want to thank you guys for saving people's lives and doing the job you do every day. It's not easy.
So you understand that there are 3 people that wouldn't be alive but for what you did?
Yeah,
You understand what that means?
you can't describe it, you know.
There you go, then you understand. So Ray, on behalf of the town board, why don't you give these to the young men?
Okay. Charlie, coming up here first. This reads, Office of the Supervisor, Town of Riverhead, proclamation honoring Charles Colmer for his life-saving efforts. On Monday, July 22nd, lifeguard Charles Colmer was vigilantly monitoring the shore and waters at Reeves Beach in the town of Riverhead, and a small boat containing 3 men overturned in the Long Island Sound. And although all 3 men were wearing life jackets, they quickly became distressed in the choppy waters, and it was very, very choppy that day. Charles immediately put his training and practice to test and quickly responded to the life-threatening emergency. And after notifying the beach attendant, Charles quickly entered the water and swam out to the men in distress. And he, along with fellow lifeguard Paul Iannacino, hopefully I did that correctly, brought them safely to the shore. And Charles Colmer deserves our sincere thanks, recognition, and praise for his quick and brave response, excellent judgment, and professionalism in the line of duty. Let it be known that without Charles Colmer's quick and decisive actions, a more tragic outcome might have occurred. Now, therefore, why don't you read this part?
Now therefore, I, Sean Walter, Supervisor of the Town of Riverhead, together with the entire Town Board, do hereby acknowledge and sincerely thank Charles Colmer for his life-saving efforts and his dedication and commitment to providing the best possible service to the citizens of Riverhead and the Riverhead Recreation Department. Proclaimed this 20th day of August 2013. Congratulations. You don't have to read it, it says the same thing. Guys, you know these are resume builders for college tuition.
Paul, come on up.
Is
Honor
this
and
the
Paul.
second time for you?
Yeah.
Yes. Not to mention Paul saved somebody last year, too. Honoring Paul Iannacino
Says
for
the same,
his
you don't have to
life-saving
read it.
efforts. I'll just
Paraphrase.
everything else that I said before. Let it be known that without Paul's quick and decisive actions, a more tragic outcome might have occurred. Now, therefore,
I, Sean M. Walter, Supervisor of the Town of Riverhead, together with the entire Town Board, do hereby acknowledge and sincerely thank Paul Iannacino for his life-saving efforts and his dedication and commitment to providing the best possible services to the citizens of Riverhead and to the Riverhead Recreation Department. Paul, thank you very much. Thank you. we appreciate it. And we appreciate everything you do for us to keep you safe and keep these guys on task.
You got 'em.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. Great, thank you. Good job. Thank you.
Me too.
It's probably burning a hole in your pocket right now. Okay. For those of you that are in the audience on the Nightland resolution, that will be tabled. The appellate division issued a temporary restraining order. Town board will not be voting on that today, so when the resolution comes up, we will table it. I guess until further notice, it'll be tabled until the temporary injunction is lifted and the preliminary injunction is determined. All right.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes of town board meeting of August 6, 2013.
So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The minutes are approved. Let me just go into the
Applications, if you will.
Sure. Under applications pending town board approval, under special event permits, Event Power, Riverhead Rocks Triathlon. They will have a triathlon on the Peconic Riverfront, and that is August 2nd and 3rd of 2014. George Bartnick submitted an application for a car show at Hallettsville Museum Farm in Jamesport, and that's September 29th of 2013. Marianne Vitouche, a poker bike run benefit for fireman Thomas Jasinski at the Riverhead Elks Lodge on September 21st, 2013. Under special permit application, 626 West Main Street Realty submitted an application for a 24x24 fueling canopy, and that's Suffolk County Tax Map number 600-124-3-21.1. Under reports, Town Clerk's monthly report for July, $11,601.65. Sanitation Department yard waste report for July, $900. And the Police Department submitted their monthly report for July of 2013. Under correspondence, Riverhead Town Fire Chiefs Council submitted a letter requesting a meeting with the supervisor regarding the fire marshals. Charles Cuddy submitted a letter regarding Chernoff Realty special permit. And that's it.
All right. There are no public hearings today, so we're going to go right into.
One
I'm sorry.
announcement?
Committee reports. Absolutely.
Yes, I'd just like to announce that the Wildlife Management Committee is going to have their bow hunting lottery. The lottery will be September 16th at 7 o'clock. And the season this year will be from October 7th to December 1st. So September 16th, 7 o'clock, that's a Monday. It'll be the bow hunting lottery, in town of Riverhead.
All right. Any other committee reports? No? All right. We'll go into comments on resolutions. Sal, how'd we do?
Sal Mastropolo, Calverton. 601. Just have a couple of questions. One is, who's going to get involved from the town of Poughkeepsie as far as interfacing with the other towns? And how does the Peconic Baykeeper interface with this situation?
Okay, so why do you say Poughkeepsie? Because
Riverhead.
That's good.
She's
Wow, that's a really bad typo.
After
He's from
25
Poughkeepsie.
years.
Is that where you're from?
He's
Poughkeepsie?
upstate, yeah.
So I've been the liaison to the Peconic Estuary Program and the Peconic Estuary Program Technical Advisory Committee. And Drew Dillingham, the town engineer, is handling the MS4 program. And the MS4 program is under scrutiny from New York State DEC, where they're going to make changes and pass down some more unfunded mandates. So the towns felt that it was important that we form a coalition to be able to respond in a unified voice to the DEC with recommendations to the MS4 program that how Long Island can differentiate itself from upstate, where they don't necessarily have the same soil conditions that we have here in Suffolk County. So that's why.
Do you have any idea how much this is going to impact his time?
Oh, it's going to reduce the time that he spends on the Peconic Estuary Pond?
No, the time he spends in other duties. I mean, you're approving $7,500, but you could be also approving $40,000 worth of his time.
Oh, no, it'll reduce the amount of time that he spends in the Peconic Estuary Program significantly, because there's a tremendous amount of time that he dedicates to the MS4 program and to the Peconic Estuary Program, where now he can just send an email to the coordinator, who will coordinate all of the responses from all the townships that are participating, and they will forward that information to the state.
Okay.
You know, from a very practical standpoint, there's heavy fines associated with us not training and promoting and doing all the stuff with the Peconic Estuary. And so from my personal perspective, it's almost like a self-imposed fine. We pay the $7,500. We hope that they do the training, the outreach, the things, and that when somebody turns to us and say, well, you didn't do it, we'll say, well, no, yeah, we did here.
All right, 6:06. I guess I just have a couple of questions. One is, where is the accessory apartment committee located? I mean, where do they reside? Do they reside in the building department?
All of these people work for the building and planning administrator, the planning director, and his designee, and the building administrator all work for Jeff Murphy. So it's basically we've combined, even though they're not co-located, our building and planning department, so they all work within the building and planning department.
So if you wanted to find out if somebody had an accessory apartment permit, you would go to where?
Building department.
Okay. Another question is, I don't see anything in here that speaks to the requirement that we used to have that an accessory apartment had to be in the main residence, or if it was in a garage like the situation we had in Jamesport a couple of years back, where the garage had to be attached to the house. Have we dropped that requirement about accessory apartments?
The size limits and the location, that particular part of the Accessory Apartment Review Board legislation is not being affected. That's why you don't see no language.
So we still have the requirement.
So whatever is currently in the code as far as the size of an accessory apartment, it's limited to 1 bedroom, that will remain the same.
Well, that's in here, though. I mean, I saw that in the first couple of pages. I just see no reference whatsoever to where the apartment has to be located.
Yes, the whole entire code isn't here.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Sal. Does anybody else wish to be heard on resolutions? All right, not seeing anybody. Diane, if we
He
could.
was asking if it had to be part of the main building.
Actually, let's do
Want
that
to take the one off the table?
on table.
Sal, it doesn't have to be attached.
Say that again?
An accessory apartment doesn't have to be attached to a main building. It never has.
Well, wait. If you go back about 2 years ago, we had a situation in Jamesport where we had a town employee who put an apartment over his garage for his in-laws. And I mean, this came up quite a bit, and we were going to force him to put up a 40-foot breezeway. And from what I understand, he put up a breezeway to connect the garage to the house so that it's considered one unit. And all I want to know is, do we still have that requirement? Now, you're saying it doesn't have to be in the main building.
No.
So
No,
you can have it in a detached garage
Yeah.
with no breezeway connecting the two.
That's
can.
correct, and I think that should be changed. I think that it should be a part of the main building.
I
But
sat on that meeting, and I don't think the issue was so much whether it was connected, it was the size. Well, that's what one of those meetings.
I'll tell you, there was quite a bit of discussion about whether he could build a 40-foot breezeway between the house and the garage.
Yeah, it's not there now. Nobody's way there.
I think that predates my tenure on the town
it might have
board.
been the square footage, because if you have more square footage than you're allowed to have in the code, and if you attach it to the main house, then the square footage doesn't matter. But it's limited if you're going to have it detached from the main structure to the square footage.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Diane?
Okay, we're going to.
Let's untable.
Okay.
I make a motion, we untable resolution 443.
And withdraw it. And we're
Oh,
going to,
first we have to table it first.
I think we don't table and withdraw it in all in one.
We're going to do it in one.
Yeah, we're all
Okay.
okay with that. It's being replaced with 610 in the packet.
Okay.
Okay, so
Make a motion that we untable resolution 443 and withdraw it.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded as to untable and withdraw.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution 443 was withdrawn and untabled and withdrawn.
All right, good.
Carry
It's
over.
589 then.
Yep, resolution 589.
Authorize town clerk to publish and post the attached notice to bidders for the town of Riverhead replacement of tension membranes for the salt storage building. So moved.
And second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Oh, yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 590.
Water Department budget adjustment. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 591.
Authorize attendance of assessor at seminar. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes, the state pays us back for this cost of the assessor attendant, this seminar, so I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 592.
Authorizes supervisor to execute an agreement to obtain medical arbitration services from Rehabilitation Medicine Associates. So moved.
And second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 593.
Authorize the publication of a hell wanted advertisement for an assessment clerk. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes, and Loretta Trojanowski will be sorely missed in the assessor's office.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 594.
It ratifies the appointment of a part-time court officer. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 595.
Authorization to republish advertising for food and meat products. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes to food and meat.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 596.
Appoints an assistant recreation leader to the recreation department. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 597.
Appoint seasonal recreation staff to the recreation department. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 598.
598, order calling public hearing regarding extension to the Riverhead Sewer District to serve the Matatuck Laundry, 1044 Parkway Street. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 599.
Authorize the town clerk to publish and post public notice of public hearing to consider proposed local law for an amendment to Chapter 101, which is vehicles and traffic of the Riverhead Town Code 101-4, and that's for one-way streets. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 600.
Authorizes Supreme Court action against the owners, tenants, occupants, and mortgagees of premises located at 31 Goose Lane, Bating Hollow, New York. Town of Riverhead versus Foodkirk. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 601.
Authorize the execution of an intermunicipal agreement with neighboring municipalities to form the Peconic Estuary Protection Committee. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 602.
Authorization to publish extension to subdivision deadline for a request for proposal for the installation of closed-circuit television security system in designated locations within the town of Riverhead Parking District. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 603.
Awards bid for 2013 pickup truck for the town sanitation department. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
It's not a Ford, but yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 604.
Approves Condos Brothers Construction Corp. as drain layer for Riverhead Sewer District. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 605.
I'd like to
Table this one.
table Resolution 605, grants landscaping permit as provided by Chapter 62 to Nightland Incorporated. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to table.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The resolution has been tabled. Resolution 606.
This authorizes town clerk to publish and post a public notice to consider a local law to amend Chapter 108 entitled Accessory Apartments of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 607.
Authorize town clerk to publish and post public notice to consider a local law to amend Chapter 108 entitled Zoning of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Oh, the breezeway, yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 608.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post a public notice to consider a local law to amend Chapter 86 entitled Rental Dwelling Units of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 609.
Approves the Chapter 90 application of Event Power, Riverhead Rocks Triathlon, August 2nd and 3rd, 2014. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 610.
610 adopts a local law amending Chapter 106 entitled Waterways of the Riverhead Town Code. So
Were
moved.
we gonna withdraw that?
No, we were okay with 6.
Okay, okay.
I think there was a minor change to it.
Did you make the changes?
Yeah, this is replacing the other one.
Correct. 612,
okay.
we're withdrawing.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 611.
Appoints a cooling guard level 2 to the recreation department. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution
612 is
612.
going to be amended, right, Bob? Do we have the amended one?
You should have the amended
Okay.
resolution.
The amended resolution, the title is authorizes the supervisor to execute an easement for underground utility services to the Woolworth building. So we're going to be pulling out electrical and natural gas. We're combining 612 and 613. The first whereas will be the Woolworth Revitalization LLC wishes to install new underground utility services to lay, maintain, repair, operate electrical, natural, and gas and water services to the former Woolworth building located at 130 East Main Street, Riverhead, County of Suffolk, State of New York, known as Suffolk County Tax Map Number 0600 129-1-8.2, the premises. The second whereas will be amended to say Woolworth Revitalization LLC proposes to enter into under and across the property of the Riverhead Public Parking District Number 1 to install new utility services to the premises. The third whereas is the same. The fourth whereas will say the town board finds that the installation of the utility services to the former Woolworth building will enhance the reuse and redevelopment of the former Woolworth building. The first, now therefore be it resolved, reads that the town board acting on behalf of the Riverhead Public Parking District Number 1, the owner of the premises where the utility services to the former Woolworth building are proposed, authorizes the grant of an easement to Woolworth Revitalization LLC. So we're combining the gas and the electric services into one, gas and water rather, into one utility easement. So can I get somebody to offer that resolution as amended?
Resolution number 612 authorizes the supervisor to execute an easement for underground utility services to the Woolworth building as amended by the supervisor as described. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
I went out of order. Wooten.
What? Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Losing my voice.
You gonna give me a copy of the changes, Mark?
Yeah.
I guess I can go.
Resolution 613.
We're going to withdraw that one.
613 is withdrawn, it's incorporated in 612.
So we get a motion from John to withdraw that?
Oh, I make a motion that we withdraw.
Jim, can you second that
I'll
motion?
second.
Well, excuse me. Vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy. Resolution 613 is withdrawn.
I say yes.
Did I skip you? Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, but
614.
614 is a resolution authorizing free firewood day for residents of Riverhead. So moved.
What day is that?
boy, we got a pile over at the yard waste facility. George?
And second, is there dates on this, or just go and
I don't see a date.
help yourself? That's what I'm saying, free firewood day.
John, when's our free firewood day?
Just have the residents call our office and we'll set up a time. They can meet us at the facility. They can.
So free firewood day is whenever the residents call John and make an appointment for their day.
So leave out the day, free firewood for residents. Okay.
Call the sanitation office, 727-3200, what's the extension?
391.
391. We don't allow chainsaws and everything, folks, there's some big stuff there, so you gotta
Okay.
be prepared to pick it up.
Let me ask John one. Yeah, they're gonna have to have a permit. Is that permit gonna cost them money?
Not to
No.
take the yard, not to take the firewood, no.
No.
Okay, so it's a free permit.
Yes, it is. First come, first served.
Yeah, and there's quite the pile there, so bring your big sons and daughters and friends.
You have to come to town hall first to get a permit.
No, you don't have to get a
No.
permit, no permit.
Whereas the sanitation superintendent recommends that permits be issued.
He's gonna give the permission, he's gonna call, you're gonna call him, he's gonna set up an appointment, he's gonna give permission to go get it. No fee.
Okay. I don't know why it's in here then.
Shouldn't be
Because
any
they want to
permit,
have
there
the
should be any
residents, for
day.
the residents.
I think it's been moved and seconded. Call for the
And
vote.
Moved and
seconded.
seconded.
It's seconded now.
It's seconded now?
Yes, you
Okay.
can move forward.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 615.
Pays bills.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes, yes,
Everybody
yes.
went before.
All right, now we
Resolution
open
adopted.
the public comment period to anything that suits the residents' fancy. We ask you to limit your comments to 5 minutes, and hopefully it's stuff that is within the purview of the town. If you would just, yes, good evening. If you would just state your name and hamlet for the record, that would be wonderful.
I am Claire Bennett, 12 Oakwood Drive, Hannibal, New York, Riverhead.
How you doing, Miss Bennett?
Good. All right. Good evening, board members, Mr. Walters. I have two issues I need to address this evening, and thank you in advance for hearing me out. I have with me tonight some members of my community. I also have a stack of papers from everybody over in our little area. What this issue is about, and I first brought this issue to the attention of you, Mr. Walters, and the Riverhead Town Board.
Do you want me to update you as to what happened before you read that or after?
It's not very brief.
Okay, go ahead.
In 2010, which is 3.5 years ago, the most recent progress I understand was this June, with the Riverhead Town Board meeting with the ambulance corps from Riverhead, and that they were in negotiations with Manaville to provide a first responder to our neighborhood, with then the Riverhead ambulance being the mode of transportation of the patient, okay? And that also there's eastern parts of Brookhaven that we're going to be then serviced by the Riverhead ambulance. A month after your June meeting, unless you've had one since then, there was a family on Schultz Road who had a daughter that was choking, and there was not an ambulance reported to that home for an hour.
If you give me the information, that doesn't seem correct. Afterwards, Tara McLaughlin. Tara, where are you? Tara will, Rick pointed to Tara because that can't be accurate. If that's accurate, I will find out.
All right.
Give her the information.
I have a letter from the Delsace family.
Give
Yeah.
Tara the information afterwards.
Yeah.
We will pull the records and find out what happened.
Okay, so basically, have there been negotiations? If not, when, and what is the issue with the negotiations?
What's happened, and I'm not going to throw either district under the bus.
Right.
The Riverhead Ambulance District and the Manorville Ambulance District are in conversations about doing mutual aid. What the board originally wanted to do, which is more a town of Riverhead board to Brookhaven Town Board contract negotiation, we found out we can't do. It has to be a mutual aid agreement between the Riverhead Ambulance District and the Manorville Ambulance District. One of the districts is moving a little slower than we would like. What we're trying to do is that Riverhead takes over the part of, not takes over, but does a mutual aid for parts of like Peconic Estates, which are in Brookhaven, but really just over the Riverhead line, and that Manorville would take over, help, not take over, but help the areas where you are at Oakwood Drive. The problem is it's not really a board issue. It's an ambulance. We're the ambulance board, and the town board of Riverhead, Brookhaven are the ambulance board, but our contract providers, if you will, are Riverhead Ambulance, and Manorville, Brookhaven Town Board has Manorville Ambulance. They have to come to an agreement. They're working on it. I understand.
3.5 years?
I've spoken to them multiple times about this, including we had them here at the last meeting.
What can we do as a community?
I would contact I don't know whether do they have open meetings, the ambulance boards? I would contact the ambulance boards and see if they have any sort of open meetings and speak at their meetings.
Right.
And I would send a letter to the ambulance board of Manorville.
Well, I'll send them all of these letters.
And send them to Manorville and to Riverhead.
Right.
And we're in support of this.
Right.
Unfortunately, our proverbial hands were tied because it's a mutual aid, and it is not acceptable. If you give Tara, is Tara back in here? Tara, if you would take this young lady's information about the ambulance call, I want to find out what an hour.
July 6th.
Give the details.
Yeah.
We will pull the 911 tape and find out what we can determine what, in theory, really happened.
Okay.
Through the 911 tapes, we hope.
Right.
But I will have the chief pull the 911 tapes and report back to me. The chief is right there. So Chief, Tara, don't worry about it. Chief, this young lady here would like to talk to you about pulling some 911 tapes about, welcome Chief, about an ambulance call to Manorville that may have taken an hour. So if you could take her information, he'll pull the information, and we'll get to the bottom of that.
Okay.
How did we get the firewells installed? I've been
There is
working.
one at the end of Oakwood Drive on Wading River Manor.
Good.
There is
Well,
one
that's
there.
what one
That's
is
a good
good.
thing. That's a good thing, because there was just a fire on about 500 feet away from that the other day. They didn't need to use them, but the house was still destroyed.
Yeah, they
Right
understand
next
the
to
wells.
88 acres, yeah.
The wells are producing a lot of water, more than they expected, so that's a good thing.
All right, now that you bring up 911, there are still errors with the 911 system. Our town name is incorrect. Just this past Saturday, and I brought this up to you when I stood before you a year ago, all right? Progress on this again, 0. My husband went across the street, parking lot, to the police station. He asked them to do a 911 reverse dial-up on our phone number. It comes up Calverton still.
we had that
Everybody in
resolved.
our area, the same problem, which is one of the reasons why one of our neighbors, even this past winter, went to the Riverhead Police Station in person, filled out a form, and requested that the drivers, the policemen, please drive by their residence while they're away for the winter. The policemen
this was
cannot
resolved.
find their home.
Chief, please don't,
This
if
is
you want
what
to
I
speak,
found
you
out.
can come up.
This is what I found out.
Well,
There was-
hold on one second. Chief, I thought we had a meeting not too long ago. I thought this issue was resolved. Did we? Miss Oakwood Drive, Oakland
Well, it's
Drive,
just not Oakwood.
Oakwood.
There's people all around that whole area.
You're on the borderline, there's a lot of times that.
Well, Chief, could you come up to
Come
the
up to the-
microphone, please?
All I know is you can call Miss Cheryl Smith's phone number, we can go next door, and you're gonna do a reverse dial of 911 to of our numbers, it's gonna come up Calverton. Calverton, and not for nothing, in everybody's mind, you see Oakwood Drive and it says Calverton, you think north to 25, north to 25A. I mean, it just, so the officers in the car, the ambulance drivers, they see Calverton, you think north. We're not, we're south, which is, again, it's still wrong.
We had a meeting with the chiefs not too long ago. Is there any movement on this? I mean,
That was up in Timber Park, though. That was up in,
it was this,
up by Therms, that was the problem.
they're down here as well.
Yeah.
We had the same problem down here.
When 911 was created, it was created in areas. So when you get to the line and you have two lines between each town, sometimes some numbers went to the wrong PSAP, sometimes they went to the right PSAP. Once we find out there's a mistake, though, we correct it with Verizon. That takes a little time, you have to fill out a form and send it.
Well, that was my question. I didn't put that. It comes from Verizon.
They do finally correct it and they change it, so when we get the call, it comes
I'll
up.
call Verizon myself.
I thought this was resolved because we had a meeting about this not too long ago. Can we, that when the chiefs came in, were you not part of that meeting when all the chiefs came in? We've had a lot of meetings, ma'am, miss, on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, it's called the
Can-
911, it's made of addressing department for Suffolk County. And I understand Verizon holds the database for all 911 phone numbers, information, and they proliferate it out to all the other service people.
When we get a correction, like up in Therms, when you had a problem between the fire districts, we went house by house and we told Verizon what we wanted to appear on the alleys.
Okay, do you have a point of contact within the police department that's not you? You have a lot to do that can handle this? Because I'd like,
There was a lieutenant, I forget his name, last name began with an L. Lazard. I was with him for like 45 minutes, over a year ago. Still not correct.
that's the,
He
I
said
think,
that was not within his power. He can't just go in and change it. There's a database somewhere. Verizon controls the mother lode of databases regarding all phone numbers and stuff.
I think it was Lieutenant Lassard that was in the chiefs meeting, actually.
Well,
You're gonna take the chief's information,
it certainly
chief-
shouldn't be
this chief-
insurmountable. It looks like a pretty easy fix.
you're gonna take the chief's information,
took a year.
and chief, we're gonna get back to this young lady and try to figure out how to fix this. Because I thought this had been resolved. Ms. Bennett, I'm sorry. I don't know how this is not resolved. This is not a difficult thing, chief? Okay.
I don't know exactly. I know my number affected. I know Miss
We just have
Cheryl
to correct
Smith's
the
number is
database,
affected.
that's all we have to do. But we
Okay.
don't correct it, Verizon.
Verizon is the mother.
But I need
lode.
somebody to sit on them to do it. So I know, the chief will sit on them to get it done. And can we get an answer back to Ms. Bennett quickly on this? The ambulance issue, what I want you to do is see if Manorville and Riverhead Ambulance have an open meeting that you could attend, or write them a letter. We can only get Riverhead Ambulance to do what we want them to do, and they are working on it. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but there is a slow movement.
I know, but this is absurd.
I understand.
This is so absurd. There's like 7 children under the age, it's
I
absurd.
understand, but you're coming to talk to us.
And you're powerless over
I
this.
want you, we're not powerless,
Well,
but
yeah, it
the
sounds like
thing,
you are.
the power that we have would be devastating. We can't go in and just surgically fix something.
So you're powerless in this situation.
We're powerless in that sense. We can't surgically fix it. We have the power to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We don't want to do that. So contact, it's Chief Talmadge.
Are you prepared for a lawsuit when somebody dies?
And I would like you to contact the Manorville ambulance.
They ain't met on that, people.
Because you've got to contact the people that are working there. I know it's easy to come here, but those are the those are the two groups that have to push this forward.
Okay. Can I just say something?
Yeah.
This is my neighbor Cheryl Smith. She
Okay.
just
I just want to say something. Most of the other towns, with the ambulance districts and towns, have commissioners that are elected by the public that serve the public, and they have open meetings. We do not have that in the town of Riverhead. What we have is an ambulance district that reports to the town board.
Under a contract.
Okay? Under a contract, but most others
cancel the
have,
contract. They're not
have
supposed to do
commissions
their
that
job.
can't make decisions,
I know,
but they,
I'm being irrational, I realize, but at the same time.
but they have open meetings. I don't think the ambulance district or the ambulance corps have open meetings. You can call to find out. But, I'm
This is
one
nothing against them
that
personally. They're doing the
wants
best
to
work
put
in the
somebody,
process. They're not there.
I'm one that wants to put somebody between the public and the ambulance, other than the town board, that recommends to the town board what the town board should do. And those are elected commissioners, 3 of them that are elected by the public and serve the public.
I'll do you one better. If you write me a letter requesting a meeting of the chief of the Riverhead ambulance and the chief of the Manorville ambulance, maybe it's time I meet the 2 chiefs together in my office with you.
We need something.
Okay,
3.5 years.
I will take care of that. Tara? Just make a note. We're gonna send a letter to Riverhead ambulance, not a letter, just call Riverhead ambulance chief, Manorville ambulance chief, and request a meeting with Ms. Bennett and the police chief.
And can I bring some of my neighbors with me?
I'd prefer
Okay.
just you, maybe one other person.
Okay.
That would be fine. All
I
right.
guess the biggest issue has been who is going to be our advocate? Who is going to watch after us that these people do the job? I mean, from what
We
my
will.
understanding is, Manorville has set up time and spoke to Riverhead and said, listen, we'll give you this part, you give us them. It takes 5-6 minutes tops to respond to my house from Manorville. We called Riverhead. I was choking. I couldn't breathe. They called them 3 times. It took Riverhead 37 minutes to get to me.
We will
You know
set
where
up the
they were?
meeting.
They were in Wading River.
We will set up the
Right.
meeting.
Even Wade River Fire Department can get you faster than Riverhead can get you. I've been an
Yeah,
advocate
they
of
weren't
this,
in Wading River.
but
We don't
Yes,
handle.
they were. They told me they were. I called the police 3 weeks ago
Okay. Well,
and
that-
asked them
Well, they-
to come to my house. I had strangers parked in my road. You know what they told me? Same thing Riverhead Ambulance tells me. Oh, we're sorry. You don't belong in this district. You're Brookhaven.
The other thing too, people that lived in our area for a long time, and the Hortons can say this to themselves, they grew up with their parents telling them never to call 911. They were to dial 727-2727, the state police, because still, even to this day, people don't know where we are.
Okay.
Right.
We'll set up a meeting, but you talk to, what I said, throw the baby out with the bathwater, that's the problem we have.
Right.
Our choice is if Riverhead Ambulance District doesn't do what this board wants, we get rid of that Riverhead Ambulance District contract. That's
When is
obviously,
it up for review?
it's obviously a big,
When is it up for review?
it's a very big issue.
Well,
Do we
it's,
have an expiration date on that
the
contract?
the problem you're having
But-
there is unexcusable, but there's 3,000 calls they handle for the town of
Oh,
Riverhead.
I understand.
I don't want to throw them out with the bathwater, but it's unexcusable that you don't get the service you deserve. And so that meeting between Manorville and Riverhead should be sooner than later, and
I
it's
will
really pathetic
force
it
it.
takes 3 years.
I will force the meeting, but I'm going to tell you that what you're telling me about one district may not necessarily be what the district is saying. So we will force the meeting, and if they don't come, then I will go to Supervisor Romaine. I can control my ambulance district.
3.5 years ago, I already contacted him.
I will contact, we will set up the meeting.
Supervisor Romaine is for this.
I will set up the meeting
He
and
is.
let them explain why they can't do it, or they can do it, or when it, I'm not interested in anything but when are you implementing this? That's all I want to know. When are you implementing it? Period. Done.
It's a no-brainer.
I understand.
Okay. And I want
We
to
will-
thank you people for coming in, because I've been talking about this for 3 years, and it hasn't been done.
I will set up the meeting. I will make sure Councilman Dunleavy's there. Tara, first thing tomorrow morning, just make a note for me or Carol to make that phone call. We will take care of it. I will put them all, we will, absolutely, I'll put them all in the, I will put them all in the same room. And if Manorville can't do it, I have no problem going to Brookhaven. I'm gonna say that I have no problem going to Manorville and telling Brookhaven they should get rid of their contract vendee too if it doesn't work.
Trust me, Manorville would love to do that.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We should give it to him.
Hold on, sir. How you doing, sir?
The reason I'm here this evening is to...
What's your name,
Yes,
sir?
name and Hamlet,
I'm
sir.
sorry. The reason I'm here this evening is...
Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Bill Rauer. I live in South Jamesport on 2nd Street. I rent space from the town at the town marina in South Jamesport, the docking facility. Why I'm here this evening is to notify you guys that safety is a major, major problem at that marina. April 20th of this year, I went down to tie ropes on my slip to get ready to put my boat in the water. Well, lost my balance, went in the water, fully dressed, with winter-type clothing on, April. If it wasn't for a gentleman who happened to be in the parking lot, I wouldn't be here this evening to address you, all right? The problem arises, there's no access out of the water onto the docks. No ramps, nothing, no ladders, no way of getting up on the height of that dock because of the cement docks and the floats underneath them, okay? Secondly, what he did, the gentleman came down the dock, you heard me, grabbed the ring that they have on the docks, gave it to me, and I could barely get it around me because the ring is so small. There's no ropes tied onto the rings. So if I happen to be away from the dock, he couldn't retrieve me unless he went in the water. Okay? I've been around water since I'm 66, since I was 13 years old. I'm a licensed captain for 38 years. There is no reason why this safety stuff has not been addressed.
There should be a rope on the life ring. That's
Exactly,
unacceptable,
that's
too.
a no-brainer. Now, I brought it to the attention of the Recreation Department 3 times. 3 times I was told, well, we're looking into it. That was in April. Once in May and once in June. And I said, I think we need to know something prior to July 4th because it's a big holiday. And there are a lot of elder people like myself that boat out there, okay? Nothing's been done. Now, I think it's time that we do something or suggest something to the Recreation Department.
Ray's still here?
Okay, that this gets squared away, because eventually, someone's gonna go in the water, and they're gonna drown, and then the town is gonna have a lawsuit that would shake your belief in mankind.
All right, so it's, the life ring should have ropes, that's common sense.
Right.
And probably we should have more than one size. One size doesn't fit all with a life ring.
Well,
even having ladders
that's a
at the end
big
of the
thing, and the
dock,
biggest thing, Mr. Walter, is the ladders.
I don't know whether they're designed in a way.
I've been to a couple different marinas over the years, and they all have some type of ladder to get you out of the water if you have to. There are ladders on the stationary dock by the ramp.
Who's the, what council member is the?
That's me. There's nothing
That's
on
you.
Liaison to East Creek. Yeah, I'll bring it up with Ray Coyne. I'm a liaison to Recreation, and we also have the East Creek.
Right. Well, I don't,
Marine.
possibly when the guy, they did a fantastic job on the marina,
Right.
but I don't know if safety was addressed or it was part of the contract originally that they do certain things for safety. And a third thing was, I mentioned that when the ring came off the post, an alarm goes off. So I asked, what does the alarm do? And I was told it beeps. I said, well, what does it beep? Do the seagulls know it's beeping? Who cares? Well, that's what I want to know. Why can't something be set up, since we don't have a dock master, to make a call to 911 if somebody goes in the water? It can be set up as a single point cell phone in some way that it dials 911. So somebody knows there's somebody in the water and they're in trouble. Trying to get out all by myself, I tore my fingertips all up trying to hold on to the dock to support myself after the third pass down. And I really, really, really didn't want to drown that day, and thank God for that gentleman who bailed me out. I think this needs to be addressed ASAP.
Okay.
And I have,
Right on
right
that,
now,
Ray.
I just came up on the internet, and it's a basic thing. It just is someone in Florida that builds aluminum ladders to put on docks. They make different shapes, different forms, and
Can we take that from you?
yeah, and the most expensive one here, retail, is $135. So we're not looking at $1 million.
You know what the more problematic end is, from my perspective, and is that it's an unmanned facility. So having you, listen, I've done some really dumb things as a boater, and been on docks and in boats, and we all probably do what we shouldn't do, but maybe there's a way, maybe we should be making sure, have a policy that you can't go there by yourself without somebody with you, because if you're by yourself and we don't have somebody there,
How
but
can you
that's the
restrict
point.
someone? That's
But
like
that's-
saying, well, you can't walk your dog unless you have two people.
Oh, we could restrict you because it's our facility, because that becomes problematic, because how would we would never have somebody there all the time. I mean, there's never gonna be somebody there all the time, and if you come down at 10 o'clock at night to do something on your boat and you fall in, that's a problem.
Yeah, but if we address the safety issues that I brought up.
Right. But it wouldn't make a
If you go in
difference.
the water, at least you have a ladder to grab to pull yourself back out. At
Right.
this point, you go in the water, well, they might find you floating on the morning.
But if you go in the water by
Unfortunately,
yourself.
if you go in the water and there's a number of boats there and the ladder's on this end, you know.
At this point, at time
Right, now, it wouldn't help, the ladder's not gonna help you
Right.
unless we had,
Right, hopefully there's
90
something around
ladders.
or there's something to hold on to.
Right,
But if you rely on just, like I did, trying to slide myself along the docks to a point where I could get myself out,
right.
that's an impossibility. And it even got to the point where, when the fire department arrived, they had a heck of a time getting me out of the water.
You're fully clothed.
Because you're so high, and with all the clothing on, they're trying to reach down and grab my legs to flip me up. And a police officer and one of the ambulance guys almost ended up in the water next to me because of the height. Again, that was something that was brought up by the chief of, in Jamesport Fire Department. Why aren't there access ladders? Why
So
isn't there a
first
better
word,
way?
I'll be honest with you, if that was brought up, I don't know why it wasn't brought here. Because it's the first time anybody that has
I haven't
board has
heard
heard
that.
of this.
First time we're hearing about this.
Yeah, well, that's why I figured I'd let you guys know what was going on, because obviously, it's kind of like, it must have been filed after the first time, and the second time, I saw a yellow piece of paper that said, we're looking into it, and that was probably in May or June, and I had talked to him a third time and said, you know what, I think we're at the edge of the envelope here on July 4th, and I think it's time that we move on. Now we're in the middle of August, getting near the end of the season.
The problem remains, just as Councilman Gabrielson said, you put a ladder there and you're by yourself and nobody's there to help you, the outcome's not gonna be good. Because you're not gonna get around another boat to get to a ladder if you're
Well,
by yourself.
if you put ladders on every finger pier between every two boats,
That's
it's
what I
real
was,
simple. No matter where you go, you're gonna have a ladder in front of
that's what I was gonna say. The piers that come out between the two boats.
Expensive.
Right.
You can put a ladder on the end of that. Even though there's cement, there's a way you can attach them.
Right, they're all
There
good
are a way
quarters.
you can attach them to them. And on the end would be at the water's edge.
Exactly.
So you could climb up
Exactly.
there.
The,
Public safety is one of the things that I stand behind. I think this should be done, and money shouldn't come in, be involved in this.
Right.
It should be done just for the public safety issue.
Thank you. And if anybody has any ideas, the town of Islip redid the Babylon Marina 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And they have the same setup pretty much we do, only they don't have the finger piers, okay? But they have a ladder every third boat, okay? And that was part of their contract when they contracted with the people who rebuilt the marina, that had to be done.
Yeah, I think that was probably left out,
Good news.
but we can always fix it.
Yeah, we can get the ladders, but I think we as my lawyer's hat goes on and thinks that we need to do something more from the perspective of, you got a ladder every third pier, you're by yourself. It's not how you getting around somebody's boat in April?
We'll have a meeting.
There's no boats in the water in April.
Oh, could be. I mean, I always put
Even
my.
now, if we put
something
finger piers on every finger pier, it's not a big deal, it's only 2 boats.
Right.
And you could even be hurt. I got very lucky, I felt myself going in, so I kind of pushed off the dock. But the matter is, once you go down the first time, you get a mouthful of water, you come up the second time, you get a second mouthful of water. Now you've got 60 pounds of clothing on that's soaking wet. It really didn't make it too easy to do. And with a ladder, at least I would have stood a chance of something to hold on
To get up yourself on your own power.
Right.
All right.
Well, I can assure you, actually have a meeting tomorrow with Ray. I'll bring this up with them.
I think
and
we
if
can
you
get
can leave
ladders.
a number with Tara, I don't want to give it out here, and I can get back to you.
We can get ladders, we can get life rings with ropes, because that's just silly.
Because we also have the East Creek Advisory Committee, which we can have.
And nobody's said
program
that. I mean, this is the first time it's come up, so we
Right.
can take care of a life
Well,
ring
like-
with a rope. We probably can figure out a way that if the life ring is pulled off, that it rings to a 911 central station. That may be a little more time consuming, but at least the ladders and everything, we can take care of that.
Well, why I mentioned that, I did it for 25 years with LIPA, and we had a ton of what they call single point cell phones located all over the island. And what we were doing, we're dialing in to read the electric meter. But they can be set up where they can, a certain time of day or whatever, they can dial out to a listed number and only be used for that. It can't be jumped, it can't be used for any other kind of call. It's strictly for that point, for that purpose.
And
So
we
it is
only
something to look
pay-
into. I think it's gonna be a little more than we'd like to spend, but, you know, it is something.
Listen, if somebody gets hurt or dies, that it's not a question of cost, it's a question of doing what's right. All right,
Okay.
George, you
And I
will,
think we only have to pay for 8 months of the year, because April 15th is when they start putting the boats in.
Well,
They take them out November 15th, they have to be all out,
Yes, April
right?
15th and November 15th.
And November
right.
15th, so you're only paying from April to November
Right.
for these, so the cost is not year-round cost. I
Thank
agree
you.
with you.
all right,
Very
sir.
much.
Tara, if you could get this gentleman's name. Does anybody else wish to be heard tonight? All right, not seeing anybody, getting a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn the town board meeting?
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Oh, thank you. You're down there by yourself, I mean, we probably should have a policy, some sort of policy. You know, it's probably unenforceable, but you're down by yourself, this gentleman. Yeah, nobody, and you've got a ladder every third boat, that ain't doing you any good. Yeah, that's not what they don't tell, that's what they tell me, they're gonna put them in the room. North Shore, Long Island, George.